Folks, you join me here on the escalator as we go down.
Just like Legacy Auto.
In this video, I'm going to take you on a trip to the Canadian International Auto Show like you've never had before. This is the largest auto show in the nation. We're going to check out some of the highlights, we're going to walk through some of the booths, and I'll showcase some of the new vehicles and technologies. But more importantly, we're going to discover together some of the huge problems that are lurking in the shadows, that telltale signs that Legacy Automotive is in big trouble. We might even roast a few vehicles along the way. So let's check it out. I'm Josh West, and this is Josh West 24/7. I'm a 15-year veteran of Legacy Automotive and a top performer in the field. But now I see that the dealership network is completely obsolete and Legacy Automotive is in big trouble. And I'd like to continue to show you why at the Auto Show. The Canadian International Auto Show is hosted in downtown Toronto, affectionately known as the Six, right next door to the CN Tower at the Metro Toronto Convention Centre. It's the largest auto show in the entire nation. So we arrive at the event, we grab some parking, and we make our way into the building. This year there was noticeably more support for creators and YouTubers alike. Big thank you to the Auto Show conveners for blessing me, even a small channel, with a media press pass. It really made the experience considerably better, much easier to film, skipping the lines, and a lot more convenient. So thank you guys. So entering the Auto Show, you ride up a couple of escalators. At the top of the stairs, they had a couple of Genesis, Hyundai electric vehicles there for you to check out. Not the full display, of course, but just to catch your eye, I guess. Anyways, you come around the corner and there's the Stellantis display. So we headed over there to check that one out first. And after wading through an ocean of Hemi Chargers and Hellcat Challengers, we noticed that there was absolutely no electric vehicles on display. I mean, they did have a Wrangler 4xe kind of mounted up top. That's the plug-in hybrid Wrangler. I think it was a Willys edition, and it had a big banner behind it that says "Freedom is electric," which got me thinking. It was like, are they insinuating then that internal combustion engines are bondage? Now, don't get me wrong. Some people are into bondage. I'm not here to judge. But in all seriousness, where was the electric Ram? This fancy new Ram REV that they had made this huge splash, spent massive money, I think millions of dollars, for their premature electrification ad at the Super Bowl. And here at the first auto show after the Super Bowl, they're completely absent. They didn't even have a picture of it. Like, there was literally nothing saying, hey, Stellantis is embracing the future, they're ahead of the game, or they're just trying to, stay on par with what's going on out there. No, it was like, hey, we've got a couple plug-in hybrids. We've got the Pacifica hybrid van, and we have the Wrangler 4xe, and we have the Grand Cherokee 4xe, and that's it. There was like, hey, no, we just didn't spend millions of dollars on a Super Bowl ad, and then they totally dropped the ball at the show. Like, what a letdown. But they did have their brand new compact SUV, the Dodge Hornet there, which gave me Dodge Dart vibes all over again. When I was in the industry and the Dodge Dart came out in 2017, man, that thing was hyped like you wouldn't believe. They're like, yeah, it's better quality than a Honda Civic, yada, yada. And then nobody bought them. And we ended up having to clear out our inventory. I think we sold every single one at like $3,000 or $4,000 losses. Like, it was crazy. Like, even if you were an employee of the company, you could not get a better deal. I'll never forget that, just clearing those vehicles out, because there was absolutely no other way to sell them. Just absolutely wholesale these things. And that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this Hornet. It's just another small gas SUV that's going to get wiped out by the Tesla Model Y. So I don't know. It seems just like they're making things painful for themselves intentionally at this point.
Hey folks, here we are at the new Dodge Hornet. What this is a vehicle that is several years old, just simply rebadged and reskinned. They have it in Alfa Romeo format. Over on the other side, we have a dated 4-cylinder turbo engine under the hood. And this vehicle here, sadly enough, will be the same cost as approximately a Model Y, which you can purchase and have zero gas and have a much safer vehicle. But if you prefer to be more unsafe and use more gas at a higher expense in a vehicle that will depreciate like a stone, then please go for the Hornet.
We took a look at the 2023 Dodge Durango, And I was actually surprised that they don't even have a plug-in hybrid version, even though the Jeep Grand Cherokee is basically the same vehicle. Like, there's been zero updates to this thing since 2011 when it came out. It's Hemi engine, 7-seater, 6-seater, whatever, like same truck. Like, what do? They just adjust the grille and put some stitching on the dash, and all of a sudden it's a new vehicle somehow. I don't understand it, but I mean, it's been 15 years almost since that vehicle was announced.
Dodge Durango. Yes, you heard me right. This vehicle here is 15 years old, and they're still peddling it as brand new. Can you imagine?
And we were able to check out the Jeep Grand Wagoneer with the 6.4 liter V8 under the hood. Check out my video. I'll link it right up top here in the card. Have a look at that. You'll see what I'm talking about, along with Doug DeMiro. He's got a few things to say about that power plant that's been around for well over a decade.
Here we are, folks, the Grand Wagoneer. Have you ever wanted to purchase a brand new vehicle with 15-year-old technology? Here we are, 6.2 liter V8. It's been in production since 2011.
And we checked out the Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe. Believe that has a 4-cylinder, I think they call it the Hurricane, turbo 4-cylinder under the hood.
And just when you thought you went electric to avoid on all of the service costs, the dealership wants you back in there for the next oil change with that 4-cylinder turbo engine under the hood.
We made our way over to that Wrangler display where they had that 4xe Willys mounted up top with the Freedom is Electric sign, and they had a plasma ball in the middle. Let's check that out.
Folks, you join me here at the Jeep 4xe Plasma Globe. They're obviously saying that electricity is very important to the brand, and you can see up here, Freedom is Electric. However, this is the same company that just over here is selling a 6.2 liter supercharged V8 engine. And folks, you join me here at the Wrangler 4xe. We have the J1772 charge port up top here. This vehicle is going to give you about 40 kilometers of all electric range. It'll give you a hybrid mode, or you can lock out the electric to conserve it for electric off-road use when you want to go on those trails where they don't allow gasoline. Now come on over with me. Follow me over here to the Gladiator. And what we're going to point out is not the crazy paint job, but more importantly, the fact that there's been a massive, huge missed opportunity by Stellantis. You see, the problem with this vehicle is that it could very easily have that same charge port, that same 40 kilometers of range in a pickup truck format. What would be even cooler is if they put a 240 volt power outlet in the bed so you can plug in things when you're camping and off-roading and overlanding and all that good stuff. But why hasn't Stellantis done this? This vehicle's 2 years old. They've had the 4xe for a couple of years now. Guys, Stellantis, what are you doing?
And we rounded out the Stellantis display down at Articulation Corner, which was a part of the off-road, indoor off-road course that Jeep had set up. They had the 4xe Wrangler and Grand Cherokee, along with a couple of other vehicles that were doing some hill climbs and kind of suspension articulations and kind of showcasing the off-road capabilities of those vehicles indoors, which was kind of a cool concept. There was a big lineup for it, which is a good sign. People are interested in going for a ride, I guess, but let's check it out down at Articulation Corner.
And folks, you join me here at Articulation Corner. As outlined on this sign over here, this is Jeep's indoor off-road track. No mud involved. And of course, we got the plug-in hybrid 4xe Wrangler going around the corner on pure electricity. The question is, at Articulation Corner, does Jeep have what it takes to articulate to electric vehicles? Here, check this out, guys. Petro Canada, they have actually completed a coast-to-coast fast charging network. Hopefully, Petro Canada, you'll get those chargers up and a little more reliable than they've been. Hashtag Petro Canada. Now, Kia, I heard, is going into the toilet business, so you're going to have a bowel movement that inspires.
We made our way over to Subaru looking for some electric vehicles, and well, you'll see what we found. Let's have a look.
All right, so here we are at Subaru. Subaru, land of the adventure.
Yes, that's
Thank you
correct.
very much. Excellent. Have you got any electric vehicles here?
Yes, we do. We have the Satira. It's over there. It's the red one.
The Solterra. Okay, we're going to go check it out. Thank you very much. A lot of gas cars here, but we do have the Solterra. Now, we happen to know that this vehicle actually has a recall on it for the wheels falling off. In fact, they've recalled every single one they've ever made.
Introducing the all
Sir?
new Subaru Ener-Savings.
This was in the back seat of the tax set.
It'll ignite your senses.
The phone?
Yes.
Not my phone.
Where can I turn it in?
Those guys right up at that desk there, with the Subaru. Oh, I love that. I didn't think it worked here. I love it. Are we working, Nav? I guess we are. All right. Subaru, we give you the whole picture. Look at that. Subaru's choosing a dirt road to bankruptcy. Here we have a first look at the Subaru Solterra front trunk storage area. Of course, we have no storage whatsoever. And here we have the interior of the Subaru Solterra. This is a joint venture between Toyota, Lexus, and Subaru. This vehicle has actually the lowest grade of DC fast charging possible, and its range is interesting at best.
Kyle of Autospec Studios claimed that this vehicle had the worst DC fast charging by a long shot of any vehicle they've ever tested. I'll put a link in the description below to his video. Be sure to check it
There
out.
you go, Harman Kardon. This vehicle is one of those vehicles that turns people off of going electric. If you figured owning an EV would be a compromise, you need to think again. Okay. There you go, folks. EV Solterra. I think I'd rather drive a 12-year-old Tesla. That's it. There we go. Subaru. It's interesting to see Subaru partnering so closely with Toyota. I wonder if Toyota will acquire them in the near future. Very good. All right, let's roll.
So after Subaru, we headed over to Nissan to check out their new SUV, the Ariya, and they had a couple of other units there as well. So let's wander over to the Nissan booth.
And here we are. You join me at the Nissan Ariya, Nissan's second full EV. This time it's an SUV based loosely on Nissan Murano architecture. Take a look at the front end here. We've got kind of like a ghost hexagonal shape in the faux grille. Curious to see what Nissan has under the hood. There is no front trunk in the Leaf, so we can only assume that there's no front trunk in the Ariya. Folks, you join me here with the new Nissan 350Z, proof that if you paint your car the color of a fishing lure, people will want to sit in it. And here we are with the Nissan Leaf, the EV that really started it all. They had a great opportunity to get out in front of Tesla. Unfortunately, when Carlos Ghosn was pushed out of the company, they lost their chances forever pulling ahead of Elon Musk. What's interesting here is that the wheels, when heated up, double as a barbecue grill. You can grill a burger and commute to work with the same vehicle. And folks, here we have the 2011 Nissan Murano. Okay, well, let's get a good look at this. Folks, have you ever wondered what a vehicle would look like in your absolute worst nightmare of nightmares? And here it is. This is Beach Boys meet Frankenstein Terminator. And folks, look at this. This will take you right to the gas station.
And so that was the Nismo Frontier off-road truck. Takes you right to the gas station, the polar opposite of the Ariya and the Leaf. So I'm not sure exactly which direction that Nissan's heading. Maybe to bankruptcy, I have no idea. Next, we headed over to check out our friends at the IV Charging Network, which is a joint venture between Hydro One and Ontario Power Generation. They are utility providers here in the province of Ontario in Canada. Next, we went over to visit our friends at Plug and Drive. These guys are really cool. This is a not-for-profit organization based solely around educating people on electric vehicles. They were handing out these cool little packages here. This was a little booklet, and inside it has all the different electric vehicles that are available in the marketplace. And again, it all comes down to education. I love this People need to get educated. The reality is most people have no idea about the technologies that are available, the capabilities of different cars, or even which brands are making what type of vehicle. So Plug and Drive, you guys are doing a great job. 100% here to support you. This is an electric overlanding vehicle built by Potential Motors, which is a Canadian company, and they're based right here in Canada in Fredericton, New Brunswick, which is their company headquarters, and they have a creative hub in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Really cool truck. Shout out to Jimmy. If you haven't seen his channel, it's called Living in a Tesla. He's got some really cool camping adventures, so be sure to check out his channel. But this vehicle here, man, he could really use that up in the mountains in British Columbia. Next, we paid a visit to SARIT, which is a local company based out of Aurora, Ontario. SARIT stands for Safe, Affordable, Reliable, Innovative Technologies. And they make these cool little three-wheeled people movers right here in Ontario. The company is founded by Frank Stronach of Magna International, a huge parts supplier and manufacturer for all things automotive. They're located close to Magna headquarters in Aurora, Ontario, but they are looking at opening a factory in nearby Stouffville, Ontario. We actually have an open invitation to come and film a video there, so we're going to look into that in the next coming months. These little three-wheelers were fun to boot around. They've got 3 speeds, kind of a high, medium, and low range, and are great for tight urban areas. It's nice because it keeps you out of the elements, keeps the sun off your head, the rain, wind, and that sort of thing. So you can commute to work in an urban setting without getting your clothes all dirty and getting all sweaty from riding a bike or something like that. And at the same time, no gasoline, pure electricity, just plug it in, charge it up, and away you go. So a pretty cool little innovation. We were walking by the Ener-Savings booth and we noticed something peculiar. Let's take a look.
So here we have Ener-Savings charging forward. And these are the companies that they use: Vaughan, Chrysler, Ford, Chevrolet. Yet their company vehicle is a Tesla Model Y Performance. Very curious.
While there were a few brands that came in full force with electric vehicles, a couple of them being Hyundai and Kia, we took a look at the Ioniq 5 and later on the Ioniq 6, and well, we'll let you take a look.
And we're live. Look at the action around the Ioniq 5. This vehicle is completely sold out for 2023 production, and it's very obvious why. Great styling. I love the 80s retro vibe, kind of hatchbacky. You know, in photos it actually looks like a much smaller vehicle than it is. Believe it or not, they rate this vehicle as an SUV, even though clearly it's a crossover. Recently we had the opportunity to take one of these for a drive. It was the rear wheel drive, and needless to say, we had a little fun. Let's take a look. Have you ever wanted kind of an 80s mishmash Porsche vibe with an Elantra? If that's your dream, then this is the car for you. Folks, here is the Ioniq 6. It has that little bit of a flat, fishy looking front end, very kind of a little bit Porsche Taycan, I want to say, in the worst way possible, but saying it kindly. Over in the back here, again, you have that sloping kind of old school 911. If you stop looking here, if you look here, it kind of loses me, but it does have that wing, even the little lines kind of that 80s Porsche 911 vibe to it, which is kind of cool. But if you look a little lower, kind of cringy. Now the range numbers on this vehicle are actually pretty decent. The fast charging is so-so, but I do like the little pixelated stylings and different things that it has. Cool interior touches, and that's one thing Hyundai's really doing, is they're not afraid to push the envelope. They're not afraid to try new things. If it doesn't work out, they switch it up the next year. Hey guys, follow me. We're gonna check out the EV6 GT. Now this is one of the cool features that Kia has brought out on their vehicles here, also Hyundai. You can see we have a power inverter. And so this cord of light here is actually being powered by the car. It's a good thing it's $75,000. It's a good deal. Coming around the back of the Kia EV6, we have this beautiful tail end here. Again, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but it's very similar to the Aston Martin SUV, which we're going to take a look at in just a second. Guys, take a look around here. We have an EV6 here. We've got the Niro EV here. We've got the plug-in hybrid Niro EV. We've got another EV6 GT. Over here, we've got another EV6 GT. We just came from the Dodge booth, and that place has a couple of plug-in hybrids, 0 EVs, not one single full electric vehicle in 2023. Can you imagine? Not even a concept. What's striking is the difference between Kia and Hyundai, who have fully embraced electrification. Very clearly, they have vehicles that are selling. In fact, most of these vehicles for the production year of 2023 are already sold out. Yet Dodge has a full lineup of huge gas-guzzling Hemis that are filling their lots.
Well, we finished up at Hyundai Kia, and that was it for the north building. Then we made our way across to the escalators and the bridge to the south building to finish off the show.
Yeah, put him in the video. What's up, guys? How's the auto show? Who do you want to shout out to? There we go. There we go. Shout out to LeBron. LeBron! It's about LeBron's legacy. There we go. There we go. Enjoy the show, guys. Folks, you join me here on the escalator as we go down, just like Legacy Auto. Hey, shout out to our friends at Mountain Pass Performance. Tesla, we're coming for you.
Well, we made it down to the Exotic car display, and man, there were some beautiful cars there. Millions and millions of dollars of supercars and hypercars dating back over past decades.
Look at the ACR Viper over here.
Pretty cool, man. A lot of cars there from my childhood, so I appreciated checking those out.
Buddy, that's the nicest car here, hands down. Look at that. Buddy, come on. At least if you're going to drive ice, it better be snake blood, baby.
Then we made our way over to Tesla, finally, where we ended up doing a little bit of an impromptu supercharging education lesson for a bunch of people that were standing around behind the camera. And then we had to get off camera because they had just had a lot of questions, and we were happy to answer them.
All right, everybody, we finally made it. We're down at Tesla, and they've got a great setup. This year, they've got the Model 3, the Model S, the Model X Plaid, and the Y lined up all the way down here. And of course, we've got the supercharger in the middle. This one here seems to be, just judging from the thickness of the cable, that's a V2 supercharger. So it probably got pulled out and reused for shows or what have you. But all of the newer superchargers have a thinner cable because they're liquid cooled. The version 3 superchargers pull 250 kilowatts. And this unit here is an older unit. This will pull a max of 150 kilowatts, which still is considerably better than the majority of the chargers from third parties in the rest of the industry. All right, guys, here we have an 1100 horsepower family sedan. It will absolutely crush any of these supercars that you see around here, annihilate them, embarrass them. I know from personal experience, I have one. This is the 2022 with the updated headlights. Sorry, 2023, what am I saying? 2023, they updated the lights in 2022. But this vehicle here, they say it has 1,020 horsepower. In reality, it's closer to 1,130 when they dynoed the car, when it wasn't trying to jump off the dyno. But there's absolutely nothing like this. Dollar per horsepower, nothing comes close to the Model S Plaid. It's an absolute monster, and it is the ultimate sleeper car. Folks, you ever wondered what it would be like to have you and your spouse and your 4 children in the vehicle? Well, you absolutely decimate a Lamborghini Aventador Super Veloce with your entire family towing a boat? Well, this vehicle will do it for you. This is the almost 1,100 horsepower Tesla Model S Plaid. Doesn't require a single drop of gasoline and will never, ever take you to the dealership for an oil change. All right, guys, and here we have the #1 selling SUV, soon to be the #1 selling vehicle in the world, the Tesla Model Y. This one here is the performance model. This has got the metallic gray paint with the white leather interior, vegan leather, I might add. There is a 7-seater available, but not in the performance. You'd have to step down to the long range, but both of these vehicles haul the family and they haul butt.
So it was a lot of fun. Shout out to the Tesla crew. Noah, sorry we missed you. Next year for sure, but it was great to meet some of your coworkers there. You guys are doing a great job. We stopped by the Polestar booth, which was next door to Tesla. They're a full EV brand, a spin-off from Volvo, and they've had the Polestar 2 there on display.
You might raise your wife's eyebrows when you tell her that you're going to be spending the evening with your Polestar, right? What's unique about Polestar is that they've gone directly focused on Tesla. You can see they've actually positioned their booth right next door to Tesla. They are laser focused on producing electric vehicles. What's more important is that they sell the vehicles on the direct to consumer level, meaning you can order this vehicle without going to a dealership, right on your phone, without haggling, without any of that dealership nonsense.
Well, we stopped to take a quick look at the benchmark for aerodynamics for the Tesla transport truck. You won't believe what they used to benchmark this thing. Let's check it out.
Folks, on display, they've got a 2021 Bugatti Chiron. Beautiful French, high performance, ultra high performance sport touring. One of the unique things about this vehicle is it was used as the benchmark for aerodynamics and drag coefficient when Tesla was developing their transport truck. So if you can imagine, an 18-wheeler that has better aerodynamics than this hypercar.
Next, we made our way over to VinFast. Let's see what's happening there.
Folks, if you haven't already, check out my VinFast video where I give a little bit of a background and understanding on who this newcomer is to the automotive industry. Check it out here. We've got their new entry-level vehicle. This one here is a pre-production model. This is the VF6. In that video, I was able to explore the VF8, but this is its smaller sibling. It's got some cool features like a bit of a heads-up display. You'll notice that the 15-inch driver's display is angled towards the driver. I love that feature. A little more driver focus. Over here, we've got the VF8. We've taken a look at that in the previous video. So I'll put a link up above here to that video in case you haven't already seen it. Guys, come and check out this. This is the VF9. This is the big family hauler. It's available in a 6-seater or 7-seater configuration. It's an all-electric family SUV. Let's take a look. Beautiful emerald green. This is the color of the VF8 that we took a look at earlier on. This model here is the 6-seater. Take a look in the back here, guys. We have the third row and some underfloor storage. Actually, it's quite deep here, decent amount of storage, and some cargo tie-down rails on either side. So nice layout, good for the family.
Next, we headed over to Cadillac, and center stage in their display was the Cadillac Lyriq. They had a couple of different ones there, and they were all flanked by Cadillac's gasoline performance vehicles.
And here we are, guys, the Cadillac Lyriq. Perfect. First time getting in the Cadillac Lyriq. Well, it's blowing nice air on me. Traditional Cadillac steering wheel. We've got some haptic buttons here. Little jeweled dial here. That's kind of cool. Nice display. Very traditional feeling, actually. No suede headliner, surprising. Maybe this is a lower trim level. But yeah, a little regen paddle, just like the Volt and Bolt. Yeah, it's like a very dressed up Bolt, I would say. It's got GM vibes, that's for sure. Yeah, traditional GM vibes. I can see, older folks loving this. Somebody who is really loyal to the Cadillac brand, who's familiar with it and wants to keep that familiarity, but at the same time, move to sustainable electric transportation. I think what will really help this vehicle is Tesla opening up their supercharger network to allow CCS charging, to allow vehicles like this to charge, because the current infrastructure is a little bit lacking, a lot lacking. Getting into the back seat of the Cadillac Lyriq. All right, so I'm 6'2". My hair is brushing the ceiling. A little bit of room here. I got an inch or two. It's not too bad. Armrest that folds down. Yeah, you know what? It's not terrible. It's tight, but it's not terrible. All right, and coming around the back here, if I can find here it is, the Cadillac logo itself. And here we are. We've got a little bit of storage underneath. A decent amount of depth. Little privacy cover. And it looks like we have power folding seats, or power assist folding seats. Not bad. And there's the Lyriq.
Unfortunately, the battery in my microphone died as we headed over to Project Aero, which is Canada's first zero-emissions concept vehicle. Project Aero is an all-Canadian electric crossover, and it's kind of a moonshot gamble. They basically got together with a whole bunch of different engineers and technologies to build something that was a first for Canada. Back in the day, I guess the name probably pays homage to the original Avro Arrow, which was a fighter jet that was developed and unfortunately lost all its backing. But man, that thing was way ahead of its time. So it's pretty cool to see that they revived the name and put it on this all-Canadian electric concept vehicle. And here we are at Toyota standing in front of the newly designed Prius. Here's an interesting fact, that since the Tesla Model 3 was released, Prius sales have fallen 66%. So they desperately needed to give this thing an overhaul, give it some better looks, give it more power so that it can try and compete with the Tesla Model 3. Unfortunately, it still falls short in the performance and power categories for sure. But it definitely is a big improvement over Priuses of days gone by. Walking through the Toyota exhibit, it was very obvious that Toyota has not embraced electric vehicles. One thing they did do, which I found very interesting, was that on all the charge port doors of their plug-in hybrids, the RAV4, the Prius Prime, and some others, as well as all the gas fuel filler doors on all of their hybrids, they had put vinyl lettering stating that this was a hybrid electric vehicle or that this was a plug-in hybrid vehicle. They were really pushing the idea that this was some innovative technology. Meanwhile, hybrids have been around for decades. This is really nothing new, and they were really missing out on full electric vehicles. Beside Toyota was Hummer EV, which is an all-electric brand now and a subsidiary of GMC, no longer its own marque. We first took a look at the Hummer SUV. Let's take a look.
Well, we made it, folks. Now, this is a vehicle that you would more likely see at the shopping center than you will on the mountain trail, but we've joined the Hummer EV. Now, this is not the pickup truck, but this is the full SUV version. You can see the traditional boxy look of that Hummer. What you know from the Hummer H2 has carried over and a little bit more sleeked out. Now, the difference is that instead of gas guzzling, this vehicle guzzles electrons. It's huge horsepower. In its top format, 1,000 horsepower. 0 to 60 times never seen before on giant super SUVs such as this. Folks, if you're looking for something that will run and get you groceries, tear through the mud but not burn a drop of gas and never do an oil change, then the Hummer EV is for you. Well, we made it. We're at the new Hummer EV. This is a 1,000 horsepower super truck. Features 4-wheel steering, 4-wheel air suspension, a massive sound system, and we have 4 panels on the roof that remove and store in the front trunk. This vehicle is all electric, it's extremely fast, and it features the WTF, or Watts to Freedom mode.
Listen, I'd like to be the first to welcome you home to GMC, the only brand offering 3 fully electric trucks, and they're all here for you to take a peek at. So this is the Hummer EV Edition 1 pickup. Is the all-new Hummer EV SUV. Full lineup of electric vehicles.
We even got to take a look at the newly unveiled GMC Denali electric truck.
You join me here with the GMC Denali electric pickup truck. This is the 4th electric pickup truck from General Motors. This vehicle features an estimated 700 horsepower.
After the Sierra Denali electric truck, we went over and checked out the electric offerings from Chevrolet, including the Silverado, the Blazer, and the new Equinox.
Folks, we finally found it. This is the Silverado EV, the electric truck from Chevy. This is the 2nd electric truck released from General Motors, the first being the Hummer Super Truck, but this guy here is a little bit more affordable, in fact a lot more affordable. It has that fold down mid-gate so you can get that huge amount of cargo space inside, and it's got the massive 24-inch wheels available in top trim. It pushes over 700 GM estimated horsepower and is fully electric, so no oil changes, no tune-ups, no transmission services. This vehicle is virtually maintenance-free, and it's going to take everything you've got as what you've known about gasoline engines and thrown it out the window. This is the new technology. This is the future of General Motors, the Chevrolet Silverado EV. Here it is, the new Chevy Blazer. Now it's a little bit smaller in stature than what I had anticipated, but it's got sleek, cool, low lines. My guess is this is a rebody styled Cadillac Lyriq. Based on GM's Ultium platform, this vehicle here has an estimated 515 kilometers of range. Of course, that's on the 2-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, single drive unit platform. The upgrade to this vehicle is going to be the dual motor all-wheel drive configuration. That's going to give you faster 0 to 60 times, but of course it's going to eat into the range just a little bit. However, you will pick up on regen and better winter driving. Guys, here's the new Chevrolet Equinox Electric. This vehicle features up to 480 kilometers of range. It's available in a multitude of trim levels, as is tradition with GM to have tons of different levels, LS, LT, LT2, 2RS, all that sort of thing. This particular model is the RS trim level. We've got the black wheels, the two-tone roof. We've got the upgraded bodywork with the wheel arches and black painted rocker panels. And it has this kind of funky grille-esque kind of a cross between carbon fiber and sort of a three-dimensional diamond pattern in its faux grille here. Again, this, I believe, is a Cadillac Lyric that's been rebadged as a Chevrolet, hopefully with a significantly lower price point.
We were able to check out a bunch of cool movie cars, from Jurassic Park, Back to the Future, Fast and Furious, even a cool Porsche display, and a Lego Lamborghini.
Ooh, R32. Shout out to Whistling Diesel.
Shout out to Doug DeMiro. Congrats, buddy.
Here's a list of all the brands that were at the auto show. Huge red flags as to who wasn't at the auto show. You know who wasn't there? Ford, Lincoln, BMW, Mercedes, Sprinter, Mini, Jaguar, Land Rover, Infiniti, Volkswagen, Audi, Porsche, AMG. Unbelievable amount of brands that were completely absent. My anticipation is that things are a lot worse at Legacy Auto than these companies want to let on. Well, we definitely had a lot of fun, and I'm sure you did too, watching me fool around.
I told them to get a Tesla Plaid, but they said they didn't want something that fast, so they got this.
But we learned more by who was absent from the show than who was there. In fact, a show representative told me that on Family Day or President's Day, long weekend, the show actually broke their long-standing attendance record. So it just seems odd that when attendance is at all-time record-breaking highs and EV adoption has never been higher, that these brands would completely bail on the biggest auto show in the entire country. There's something more to this story, and I'll tell you, it's not looking pretty for Legacy Automotive. Tell me in the comments below, what are your thoughts? Why do you think that all of these brands wouldn't even show up to the biggest auto show in the country? Back when I was selling cars, I had so many customers over the years tell me that they preferred to shop for a car at the auto show because it was considered a low pressure environment. They didn't have a salesman there trying to close a sale. It's a shocking story and very telling. Things are changing very aggressively at Legacy Automotive. They're not telling you the full story, but I'm going to continue to do my best to tell you everything that I see coming and all the signs based on my experience in the business. And so there you go. That was the auto show. Just wait till you see what I've got cooked up for the next video. Guys, did you like coming along in this little field trip? If so, let me know in the comments and I'll make sure we've got some more outings lined up. We'll see you in the next video.